Hello, welcome to the studios of Equidia in Paris as we look ahead to this Sunday's Qatar Prix de Triomphe and work out who will be taking this big trophy away. Katherine Ford, as ever, is with me. We have 18 declared runners. It's a very tough year, I think, this year.
Absolutely, a hugely competitive edition of the Qatar Prix de Triomphe at Paris-Longchamp. A mile and a half, of course, is the distance. And between now and mid-afternoon on Sunday, French time, everyone will be looking very closely at the sky because there is some rain forecast. We're recording this on Thursday afternoon. There's a little bit of rain forecast for tomorrow, Friday. And then Saturday, who knows, it could be half a millimetre. It could be 5 millimetres, so do keep an eye on the weather forecast because the ground will have a huge impact on the chances of several of the horses in this race.
So the prices could fluctuate between now and then. Let's take a check on the 18 that are going to line up for you. Andret Zeni has been flown in at late notice for Giavelletto at the top there. We have horses like Sosie and Los Angeles, who were placed in the race 12 months ago. Kalpana, she was favourite, an English-trained filly during the summer, but no longer is. Aventure, runner-up 12 months ago. Mini Hawk, a filly from Aidan O'Brien, who takes on colts for the first time in her career. And 10 of the last 15 runnings of the races where you need to start with the fabulous fillies.
And the fillies are very much to the fore in the betting for the 2025 edition of the Qatar Prix de Triomphe. One of them trained at home here in France. It's Aventure, and she got that all-important Group 1 win in the Arc Trials. It was the Group 1 Prix Vermeil race in which she'd finished second last year to Blue Stocking. She went on to chase home Blue Stocking in the Arc, but here it was mission accomplished for Christophe Verlan, who'd been looking for a top-level win, and she goes on to do it nicely. She's not the biggest of fillies, but she's so easy to do. And in second, don't discount Jezora. She was making her first attempt over the mile and a half trip on that occasion and did it nicely. She runs in the race. She's the winner of the Prix de Diane, but Aventure, and of course, has been chosen, Ian, by Maxime Guyon, the rider for the Wertheimer brothers, who could have chosen Sosie, but he's opted for Aventure.
He has gone for this filly, and we'll have a look at her in the Arc 12 months ago because the second, third and fourth from last year, Aventure, Los Angeles, who's on the left in front at the moment as we picked it up, and Sosie, who's in the same ownership, so same colours as Aventure. Last year she had a blue cap. He's the bigger colt with a white splash on his face, a white cap for him. But the significant difference is that Stéphane Pasquier last year was on Aventure. This year, Maxime Guyon is. So I think we're better off in life taking the advice of the jockeys on board. The one they chose or they choose is normally the one to be with. But what about the trainer? Christophe Verlan is his name. Second in the race 12 months ago with Aventure. Let's hear what he said to the Equidia team during this week.
She has a lot of quality. She's very easy to handle. She's a dreamer for a trainer. She has never any issues and always meet our expectations. She's very easy to train. And for a jockey, she's very easy to ride. You can place her wherever and she accelerates. She really is an exceptional filly and she has the engine that makes her a great horse. She made a lot of progress since returning to racing this season, has grown stronger, and she's just right for the Prix de Triomphe.
The betting for the race is dominated by two fillies, and we'll move on to the other one now. Her name is Mini Hawk. She's trained by Aidan O'Brien, and she's only been beaten once in her career. We'll see her in her most recent start, which was in the United Kingdom at York in the Yorkshire Oaks. She is already in front here. One of her rivals on Sunday afternoon is the grey filly Estrange there, who finishes 3.5 lengths behind in second place. Before her win in this, she'd won in the Irish Oaks at the Curragh and narrowly won the Oaks at Epsom on soft-ish ground the time before. First time, though, she will be taking on colts in her career, but from stall number 1 as well, Christophe Soumillon is booked.
Yeah, absolutely. Very interesting contender, Mini Hawk, and a contender who we heard a lot about in kind of the first 10 months of following on from last year's Arc into this year's Arc was Kalpana, and she has met up with some of the best colts and geldings, and notably Calandigan, because she chased him home in the King George. Kalpana, trained by Andrew Balding, she kind of made her impact in the big time when winning the Group 1 Fillies and Mares Champion Stakes at Ascot last October. Very much jumped onto the arc scene at that moment. Hasn't done much wrong since then, but does keep getting beaten. She's beaten here by Calandigan, who is arguably among the best 1.5 mile horses in the world, if not the best. And then she finished second recently to Javoletto, but that was on the all-weather at Kempton. She can possibly be forgiven for that race, and interestingly, they're putting cheek pieces on her for the first time. Big moments for Colin Keane in his new contract this year for Juddmonte. So Kalpana will be hoping for rain.
So those are some of the top fillies, but they've been trying for 56 years, apparently, which is almost as long as I've been alive. But yet the Japanese have yet to win the Arc. Can they do it this year? Let's look at their major contenders.
ABC, Alohi Ali, Byzantine Dream and Croix du Nord are the Japanese trio this year, bidding to turn the tables on the statistics. 35 of them have attempted the race since 1969. We've had 4 second places, the 2, of course, from Orfèvre, including that agonising defeat by Solomea, Nakayama, Festa and also El Condor Pasa going back to 1999. And, of course, a Deep Impact finished third, was then disqualified for a positive test. This year, though, they seem to have a very, very good challenger. Croix du Nord, I think, leads them, despite the fact he's slightly larger in the betting than his compatriot Byzantine Dream. Croix du Nord, winner of the Japanese Derby, the Tokyo Yushun, back in the early part of the season. Always a very, very tough race to win. And here he is making his French debut, the Prix du Prince d'Orange. A bit of a change in the programme this year in France, meaning this race over 10 furlongs is now 3 weeks out from the big one. Beats off Darries, who reopposes on Sunday, but Croix du Nord, a son of Kitasan Black, his dam was second in the Oaks at Epsom. So loads and loads of positives. I saw him in training yesterday. He's really, really well. But the 17 in the stalls, not an advantage.
OK, let's go on to Byzantine Dream, who's an older horse. He's going to be ridden by Oisin Murphy, who rode him last time out in one of the trials a month ago on Arc Trial weekend. Here he is. He beats Sosie. You'll see him 3 from the left, blue and white colours. Los Angeles, who at this stage is just about in front. But Byzantine Dream, red and yellow striped jacket, has to be pulled out to get a clear run. And you can just see that he's no way near as big as the 2 horses on the inside of him there. But he is game. He battles on very well towards the line. Slight question mark for him with these Japanese raiders that come over here is the more it rains, Catherine, the harder it gets for them.
Yeah, absolutely not an advantage. He also looked very well. I saw him up at Chantilly yesterday morning, so Oisin Murphy will be riding him. And then Christophe Lemaire, talk about Japan. Christophe Lemaire, of course, a multiple champion jockey over there since he moved his gear to the land of the rising sun, and he will be aboard. Alohi Ali, a really interesting contender. Everyone kind of discounted him. He came to France following a disappointing effort in the Japanese Guineas, but he blew them away here in the Prix Guillaume d'Ornano, an important Group 2 during the Deauville-August season. Did Christophe Lemaire ride them to sleep, or is this a very, very good horse? There's Qualificar there in the blue Godolphin colours, who's going to finish third, but Alohi Ali never saw a horse during the race. One eased down, and all has apparently gone well for him since then. He did a public gallop at Longchamp a couple of weeks ago just to see the surroundings for the Arc.
OK, that's the Japanese contenders. Let's have now a look at the man who has trained more Arc winners than anybody else. It's the André Fabre pair. So, André Fabre has 2 runners this year. The first of them we're going to have a look at. We've seen him a few times already. His name is Sosie. He ran in the race 12 months ago when he finished in 4th place. He has been deserted by the rider who would have the choice. Maxime Guillon has gone for the filly Aventure. Now, Sosie this year has won races, back in the spring and over shorter. I think this was the case of the owners looking to try and boost the stallion value by running him over and getting him Group 1 victories over in 1.25 miles. And this is the Prix Quinté towards the end of April over here in France. He beats 5 rivals in this, not by very far. You can sort of see maybe that 1.25 miles is the minimum sort of trip that he wants. Map of Stars, the red cap nearest to the camera, is going to be the closest to him. But he is also a little bit, Catherine, one that the softer it gets, I think the harder it gets for him.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of international observers have a tendency to think that Sozy needs soft ground, but it's actually the contrary to that when you speak to André Fabre and Maxime Guyon, his regular jockey, although he'll be deputised by Stéphane Pasquier in today's race. A really interesting profile. André Fabre seems to think that he will come on a lot from his seasonal, or his kind of second part of the season reappearance in which he chased home Byzantine Dream. So rule him out at your peril, André Fabre. 8 wins in the race, trying to make it 9, and he's also got to Qualificar, a horse that I know you like very much, Ian, one of the 3-year-old colts in the race. So William Buick will once again be on board, and William Buick was doing the steering in the trial, the Qatar Prix Niel, now taking place 4 weeks out from the race, and here he is, trapped almost on the rail. And William Buick really does have to bide his time, angle him out. And did show a nice turn of foot once he did get that gap and that daylight in front of him, and managed to grab victory from Bay City Roller. It's difficult to assess this race because if you look at the horses he beat, Bay City Roller probably wouldn't be a favourite in the Arc, but you know, he came and did it in very difficult circumstances. Qualificar, he had previously chased home Alohi Ali in Deauville. I think we can maybe forget about that race. André Fabre seems to be quietly confident with that horse, although interestingly, I was listening to him speaking on Nick Luck's podcast the other day, and he said for him the horse to beat would be Aventure. So Qualificar, a Lope de Vega colt, I think he will enjoy cutting the ground as well, André Fabre seems to think, so very much one for the shortlist.
And he's only had the 1 run so far over the 1.5 miles. He's got very decent form at 2,000 or 2,100 metres. That 2,400-metre run last time was the best of his performances. Now, we said earlier on it's a very, very open year, so there must be a couple of others that we could mention that are at bigger prices, perhaps. Yeah,
there certainly are, Ian, and anyone who's been watching French or even international racing during the season will have noted one name. That's the name of Francis Graffard, already on 10 Group 1 wins at this stage in the season with 9 different horses in France, in the UK and in Germany, and he's triple-handed. We've spoken briefly about Jezora, the Prix de Diane winner, and Dari's an interesting contender, but don't rule out Kisisana also. She has a very interesting profile. She's a 5-year-old filly. She's a 5-year-old mare, sorry. She has had an injury-interrupted career. Francis Graffard kept her in training. He was rewarded with the win in the 10-furlong Prix Jean Romanet. And she's running, I think, very much with a chance. I kind of get this vibe of quiet confidence from Francis Graffard about Kisisana, so maybe an interesting each-way play for me.
Bigger prices, I want to go for one that ran in the race 12 months ago and finished in 3rd place. This is Los Angeles. At the moment, as we speak, he's around about a 33-to-1 chance. The majority, in fact, only once since last year's Arc has he run over 1.5 miles. His other runs have been over 1.25 miles, and he's got some good wins and some fair-placed efforts to his name as well. He did, admittedly, get beat by Byzantine Dream in that Prix Foire last time out, but that is a trial race. Aidan O'Brien is very good at bringing them on for trial race. You like this, yeah?
Yeah, I saw him that day, and looking at him physically, I think he will come on a lot from that race. So, yeah, rule out Aidan O'Brien at your peril, rule out André Fabre at your peril, and rule out Francis Graffard at your peril.
Yeah, so, you know, cheek pieces on Los Angeles for the first time as well. Back in a race, remember, he was 3rd in 12 months ago. So at 33s, that is the sort of price I like. Right, what sort of price do you like? What's going to win?
Yeah, much shorter price, I'm afraid, for my winning selection. I'm going with Aventure. I was up at Christophe Ferland's stable in Chantilly a week or so ago. He's really happy with her. He's got that Group 1. He's coming in confident after the Prix Vermeil. He's left just a little bit to work on after that Group 1 win for the Arc. She's a simple filly. She won't mind if it rains. She won't mind if the sun shines. Maxime Guyon has chosen her. She's got an OK draw in number 12, so all good for me for Aventure.
OK, I'm going to go a bigger priced one. I'm going to go for Qualificar, William Buick on board for Andre Fabre, the Godolphin operation, for another Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe victory for those, although I have rather talked myself into having to back Los Angeles each way as well. Join us then on Sunday off. It's one of many great Group 1 races. Good. Lots of runners this year, good card.
Yeah, absolutely. A jam-packed quality card. The Juveniles, the Marcel Boussac, the Jean-Luc Lagardère. We've got the Opera and the Forêt, and of course the sprinters for the Prix de l'Abeille. So don't miss any of it, all live on Sunday on your racing broadcasters. So
join us then. Do tune in for the race. I get the impression it might be a little bit of a rough and exciting race this year. So even after you've gone past the post, you might hear the siren. So don't throw those tickets away too soon. Best of luck with your selections. Hope you can join us on Sunday and have a great weekend.